місті сильних та працьовитих людей. У місті, де мирно жило багато різних народів.
Face in the Color of War, Mariupol Concept Theatre, which managed to leave the Russian occupation in 2022, in its theatrical production showed the whole world what it means to live for months in the basement and bury people right in the yards.
Sometimes it was impossible to go outside to cook something, because each area was covered very tightly from all calibers, airplanes, rockets and Grad rocket launchers. That is, we learned to distinguish by sound what kind of weapon it is.
Symbols of the destroyed life are displayed not only in the play, dilapidated drama theatre Azovstal, Mariupol port, thousands of houses, and the graves of people to whom relatives never could say goodbye. Due to the Russian occupation, there is no exact data on the number of killed in Mariupol. According to various sources, as a result of Russian aggression, about 100,000 people were killed, both civilians and the military. Russia continues methodically destroying the city. 300 houses have already been dismantled, and the invaders plan to demolish 700 more. Experts note that the demolition of houses is one of the occupiers' ways to hide their crimes.
Before the war, it was Ukraine's key industrial center, specializing in metallurgy and shipbuilding, with a population of 440,000 people. Today, an estimated of 150,000 people are left in the city. More than two-thirds of the former inhabitants either were killed or left for unoccupied Ukraine. Others have moved to Russia. The lines for collecting pensions at the local post office look like Soviet food queues. The devastation dealt to Mariupol by Putin's war cannot be easily hidden or built over. The ruins are ubiquitous, and people are searching for belongings in whatever is left of their homes. Leon Aron, political scientist, senior researcher at the American Enterprise Institute, for Washington Post.
According to the advisor to the mayor of Mariupol, 80,000 citizens of Ukraine remain in the city, 12,000 of whom are children. The rest are arrivals, Russian citizens.
There are about 40,000 Russians who are engaged in construction and restoration. Their number is growing. About 10,000 of them is a military corps, along with the Russian Guard and the police of the Russian occupiers. It turns out that on the territory of Mariupol there are approximately 130,000 people. That's all together.
Russian propaganda constantly shows how quickly Mariupol is being restored, cynically avoiding the real facts of their crimes.
Through local opinion leaders, the Russian invaders are imposing on the residents the opinion that everyone who left the hell of Mariupol's siege last year and took their families out are traitors to the city. At the same time, they do not write or speak a word about the war, about completely destroyed houses, about tens of thousands of killed civilians.
The only rebuilt urban micro-district was allegedly visited by Putin at the end of March. It was actively covered in the Russian propaganda, but there are very few new flats and the conditions in them are often unsuitable for living. People are settled in rooms without furniture and any normal conditions.
Do this mess? My son has just unloaded it.
The Russian invaders destroyed the ecosystem of the Sea of Azov either. According to the city council, dead dolphins were found on the coast of temporarily occupied Mariupol. This is due to a sufficient number of spontaneous dumps in the city, lack of professional control over the pollution of soil, rivers and the sea. And in the summer, Mariupol may even be left without fresh water. According to the Donetsk Regional Military Administration, the heat will dry up reservoirs, from which the Russian occupiers now take water. According to the legal mayor Vadim Bochenko, it will take at least 20 years to restore Mariupol after the Russian occupation is ended.
If we are talking about the development of the city, the revival of the city, in order to restore what the Russian army destroyed today in the city of Mariupol, 14.5 billion euros are needed.
Reported by Diana Kolesnik, Victoria Smirnova, UATV News.